When you hear the words North Dakota, what comes to mind? Most people won't think of anything, and will push off this lonely state as a barren landscape in a lightly traveled part of the country. But North Dakotans get the last laugh, as the western part of the state contains one of America's most fascinating natural gems. This place was sacred to our nation's 26th president, who spent a lot of time out here, collecting his thoughts and embracing the wilderness of nature. After his death, his legacy was remembered through the creation of a nationally recognized area to protect the landscape he loved so dear. This is truly a home on the range. This is Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Split into two different units and two different time zones, there are several ways to experience the lure of Theodore Roosevelt. Off of Interstate 94, Medora lies the South Unit, through which the scenic Loop Drive winds its way across the rugged badlands that cover the landscape, and the prairie dog towns that on the surface don't seem like much, but underground lies a network of tunnels connecting a miniature civilization. Isolated from the roads, trails lead to two different hidden areas of petrified forest, hardened wood from eons past. Finally, Paddock Creek runs through the center of the park, allowing explorers of all ages to wander along the meandering paths of the water and discover the secrets that the national park has to hold. An hour from the South Unit Visitor Center lies the North Unit, with a scenic drive of its own because, let's be honest, when it comes to names, no one is very creative with them. The drive goes through badlands and prairie dog towns like those at the South Unit and offers stunning views of the scenery. Both units offer three main attractions, though, that all visitors to the park should know about. First, the Mada Hay Trail runs between the units and offers a truly primitive experience for the hiker who wants a challenge out of the national park. Next, the Little Missouri River, an offshoot of, you guessed it, the Missouri River, flows through both parks, and several trails take visitors right up to the water to learn about the life of the river. Finally, we come to what the park is perhaps the most famous for, the American bison. Scientifically named bison, the creature is the largest mammal in North America, and are very few and far between in the US, with the Theodore Roosevelt National Park being one of the only places you can see them today. Valued by Europeans for over a century, and by Native Americans for centuries before that, the bison was nearly hunted to extinction in the 1800s, before being saved at the last second by national and state parks, where they are seen today. Oh, and one other thing, make sure to take a look at the buffalo chips, they're definitely a sight to see. Of course, a talk about this West North Dakotan park wouldn't be complete without a discussion over the man it's named after. Old Teddy himself, Theodore Roosevelt. Roosevelt spent many weeks out in the Dakota Territory in the 1880s, hunting buffalo and learning about life on the frontier, even getting into a bar fight once, and another time hunting down and capturing thieves who stole his boat. He would go on to establish several national parks during his presidency, including Crater Lake and Mesa Verde. After his passing in 1919, many groups advocated for a memorial to the conservationist president, and although they encountered resistance, in 1947, Theodore Roosevelt National Memorial Park, the only national memorial park at the time, was established. In 1978, after gaining further cultural and natural recognition, the site became what it is today, a national park. But the park has more history than just what occurred while Roosevelt stayed there. The badlands of the park have existed for millions of years, dating back to just after the dinosaurs had gone extinct. The American West back then was a lot more active than it is now, with the creation of the Rocky Mountains and the eruption of volcanoes, yes that's right, volcanoes, in Montana, Idaho, and South Dakota, causing sediment and ash to flow into the waters of North Dakota, and hardened to form spectacularly colored layers of rock, which were then buried in the earth not to be seen again. Just kidding. But it did take the Little Missouri River cutting through the rocks to carve out the magnificent badlands seen in the park today. We end our video over this wonderful park talking about the people who lived in the Dakota Badlands before Teddy R ever set his foot on this earth. The Mandan and Hidatsa tribes, which may sound familiar to anyone interested in Lewis and Clark, as they met members of both tribes during their travels, lived among the mountainous hills for centuries, hunting the bison in the area, and also performing another interesting ritual, eagle trapping. Through a pit covered with grass and a skinned rabbit as bait, the unsuspecting eagles would be caught by their feet by the hidden hunter, and had feathers taken from them for ceremonies or other important events. This ritual and so many others help to continue to further our understanding of how humanity as a group has many different ways of expressing their relationship with the world around them. The vast plains which once stretched for miles across the Midwest may be a lot smaller than they were 200 years ago, but the places that are left and the formations that allow them to stand out from the rest are symbols of our best efforts to protect the natural environment that continues to awe and inspire so many people. Theodore Roosevelt National Park is one of those sacred places that holds the legacy of the president, but so much more than that. Thanks for watching RIC Adventures, and until next time, safe travels.